Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Wisteria here. This is called The Devil and His Grandmother by the brothers Grimm. Here was a great war, and the king had many soldiers, but gave them small pay, so small that they could not live upon it. So 3 of them agreed amongst themselves to desert. One of them said to the others, "If we are caught, we shall be hanged on the gallows. How shall we manage it?" Another said, "Look at that great cornfield. If we were to hide ourselves there, no one could find us. The troops are not allowed to enter it, and tomorrow they are to march away." They crept into the corn. Only, the thing is, the troops did not march away, but remained lying all round about. They stayed in the corn for 2 days and 2 nights, and were so hungry that they all but died. But if they had come out, their death would have been certain. Then said they, "What is the use of our deserting if we have to perish miserably here?" But now a fiery dragon came flying through the air, and it came down to them and asked why they were hidden themselves. They answered, "We are 3 soldiers who have deserted because the pay was so bad, and now we shall have to die of hunger if we stay here, or to dangle on the gallows if we go out." "If you will serve me for 7 years," said the dragon, "I will carry you through the army. No one shall seize you." "We have no choice, so we have to accept," the soldiers replied. Then the dragon caught hold of them with its claws, carried them away through the air and over the army, put them down again on the earth, far from it. But the dragon was no other than the devil. He gave them a small whip and said, "Whip with it and crack it, and then as much gold will spring up around and about as you wish for. Then you can live like great lords. Keep horses, drive your carriages, but when the 7 years have come to an end, you are my property." Then he put in front of them a book which they were all forced to sign. "I will, however, then set you a riddle," said the dragon, "and if you guess that, you shall be free and released from my power." Then the dragon flew away from them, and they went away with their whip, had gold in plenty, ordered themselves rich clothes, travelled the world. Wherever they were, they lived in pleasure and magnificence, rode on horseback, drove in carriages, ate and drank, but did nothing wicked. The time slipped quickly away. When the 7 years were coming to an end, 2 of them were terribly anxious and alarmed. But the third took matters easily and said, "Brothers, fear nothing. My head is sharp enough. I shall guess the riddle." They went out into the open country and sat down, and the 2 pulled sorrowful faces. Then an aged woman came up to them, who inquired why they were so sad. "Alas," they cried, "how can that concern you? After all, you cannot help us." "Who knows?" she replied. "Confide your troubles to me." So they told her that they had been the devil's servants for nearly 7 years, and that he had provided them with gold plentiful, as if it had been blackberries, but that they had sold themselves to him, and were forfeited to him, if at the end of the 7 years they could not guess a riddle. The old woman said, "If you are to be saved, one of you must go into the forest. There he will come to a fallen rock, which looks like a little house. He must enter that, and then he will obtain help." The 2 melancholy ones thought to themselves, that will still not save us, and stayed where they were. But the third, the merry one, got up, walked on into the forest until he found the rock house. In the little house, however, a very aged woman was sitting, who was the devil's grandmother, and asked the soldier where he came from and what he wanted there. He told her everything that had happened, and, as he pleased her well, she had pity on him and said she would help him. She lifted up a great stone which lay above a cellar and said, "Hide yourself there. You can hear everything that is said here. Only sit still, do not stir. When the dragon comes, I will question him. I shall ask him of your riddle. He tells everything to me, so listen carefully to his answer." At 12 o'clock at night, the dragon came flying there, asked for his dinner. The grandmother had the table, served up food and drink, so that he was pleased. They ate and drank together. In the course of the conversation, she asked him what kind of day he had. How many souls had he got? "Nothing went very well today," he answered, "but I have laid all 3 soldiers. I have them safe." "Indeed, 3 soldiers. That's something like. But they may escape you yet." The devil said mockingly, "They are mine. I will set them a riddle, which they will never in this world be able to guess." "What riddle is that?" she inquired. "I will tell you. In the great North Sea lies a dead dogfish. That shall be your roast meat, and the rib of a whale shall be your silver spoon, and a hollow old horse's hoof shall be your wineglass." When the devil had gone to bed, the old grandmother raised up the stone and let out the soldier. "Did you pay careful attention to everything?" she asked. "Yes," said he. "I know enough." Then he had to leave another way through the window, secretly, and with all his speed reach his companions. He told them how the devil had been tricked by the old grandmother, and how he had learned the answer to the riddle from him. Then they were all joyous and out of good cheer, and took the whip and whipped so much gold for themselves that it ran all over the ground. When the 7 years had fully gone by, the devil came with the book, showed the signatures, and said, "I will take you with me to hell. There you shall have a meal. If you can guess what kind of roast meat you will have to eat, you shall be free and released from your bargain, and may keep the whip as well." Then the first soldier said, "In the great North Sea lies a dead dogfish. That, no doubt, is the roast meat." The devil was angry and began to mutter, "Hum, hum, hum." And then he asked the second, "But what will the spoon be?" "The rib of a whale. That is to be our silver spoon." The devil made a wry face, again growled, "Hmm, hmm, hmm," and said to the third, "And do you also know what your wine glass is to be?" "An old horse's hoof is to be our wine glass." The devil flew away with a loud cry, and had no more power over them. But the 3 kept the whip, whipped as much money for themselves with it as they wanted, and they lived a happily, very fulfilled life until their very end. And that's the story of the devil and his grandmother by the Brothers Grimm. Please hit that like, share if you can, and consider subscribing if you like stories. Thank you for listening, and many blessings.